guys, so this is an odd, maybe spicy video, but this is about the size of my member. This is probably not going to be monetized, but we'll get into it. Okay, I'm going to start off by showing you mine, and then in the comments you can tell me your size. Okay, so no. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm being in a little crazy mood today, but that's not what this story is about, at least not the direction I'm going to take. This really is about the journey that I took in accepting the size of my member, because I think that a lot of you can relate to this. But for me, growing up as the baby boy in my household with several brothers, you know, you grow up and you end up seeing your brother's stuff, you end up seeing your father's stuff. And for me, already having low self-esteem, when that happened, I couldn't help but think, wow, I don't compete with these guys, you know. And insecurity with the size of my member, that started early on. Again, I think I was ripe for that, you know, because I had low self-esteem in so many other places, especially with my body and my weight, that it came natural for me to be insecure with that as well. But yeah, it happened early on, and it lasted for way too long. Like even like in the lockers in high school and the showers in the military in boot camp, it didn't matter how many guys I saw where I thought, oh, we have a similar size or they're smaller than me. No, for some reason I still ended up looking for anyone who was larger than I was to then say, oh, well, look at him, you're nothing like him, what's wrong with you? You know, to kind of do that to myself. And then obviously being gay, when you start having sex with other guys, point, you're always comparing, right? I compared myself to everyone, and I didn't see that, even though, you know, and I've mentioned this in a couple of my other stories, to where I had situations where I was kind of like told that I definitely was adequate. I didn't let any of that sink in. You know, the low self-esteem was totally ruling that part of me, and I didn't accept it at all. And so even after I became, this is where like the dysfunction continued. When I became a top, there were times, you know, early on especially, to where when I was having sex and let's say the guy would kind of like stop or like push back, or you would kind of like feel them tense up, or they would say ow, or, you know, something to indicate that they were feeling pain. I have to admit there was a part of me that enjoyed that. They kind of got super excited that that happened, and I thought, wow, look, I did that, you know. Even though I should have known better, because, you know, as I mentioned, I started off as a bottom, and so I knew what that experience was like to kind of have that pain, and it wasn't enjoyable. And I'm not knocking that. I know some of you folks are into that stuff. You know, there are some S&M folks, and I just knew that that wasn't me, and I didn't like it as a bottom. So why then was I liking that as a top? And again, it had nothing to do whether they liked it or not, but I was getting a kick of it. And so I knew that, I don't know, it didn't sit well with me. I knew that that wasn't what I wanted my experience to be like, and I didn't want to give that experience to someone else, if that makes any sense. But yeah, it did excite me, and that was a flag that I kind of caught when I thought, yeah, something is not right. And it was, I wish I could say that it changed with that realization, but it didn't. It took years. It took to the point to where I was going through therapy, or at least even before, like when I would analyze myself and just kind of go through my issues personally, internally, where I thought, you know what, like you have to be happy with yourself. You have to be happy with your physicality. And through that journey of just trying to love myself and loving my body, and again, with the body dysmorphia, I'm sure that played a role in it too. I didn't see myself the way that others did, not just weight size, but also member size, to be frank with you. I didn't see myself that way. And it was through the process of loving myself and getting over that where I realized that it ultimately didn't, okay, I don't want to just give a load of cap to you guys, but because size does matter, I would say, to a certain extent, but it's not that big of extent, for lack of a better word. It really doesn't matter, really. Like that's old saying the motion of the ocean. There's tons of them, but that really is what matters. What matters is that, are you getting pleasure from what you're doing, and is the person that you're with getting pleasure from what you're doing? And if the answer to both of those questions is yes, then that's enough, then you are enough. And that's when I kind of dropped it, comparing myself. I dropped having to feel a certain way. All of that stuff was gone, and I got to the point where it's like, it's just about enjoyment. It's just about enjoying each other's company and making each other feel good. And when that set in, I can honestly say that's when all that stuff, and I didn't need validation. I wasn't afraid of being judged. All of that kind of just fizzled out, where it's just kind of like where I'm at now, where I think most of us should be. They should be teaching classes of this in sex ed class. This should be part of it, of just being comfortable with yourself, just the way you are. Because again, you're good enough the way you are, And someone, as coming from someone who was at bottom and someone who was at top and who was experienced different sizes throughout my sexual career, I can say that it really didn't matter. Like, if anything, the only time size mattered is when I was a bottom and the dude was too big and it was not enjoyable for me. I would have preferred a smaller one, if that makes any sense. But again, at the time, that didn't compute, but now it does. So yeah, I really wanted to tell the story just because I have a feeling that a lot of you have experienced that, and that maybe some of you who are watching this are actually going through this at the moment. So it was important for me to just share my journey. Maybe it might help you along with yours. So please subscribe would be even better. Most importantly, comment and let me know if you are going through this experience, if you have gone, and what's your journey like. I would love to know.